Welcome to Broad Strokes, Fortune's show where we talk about the news that matters to women. So this week, everybody is talking about Trumpcare, which is what we're now calling the GOP healthcare bill. And for a lot of women, I mean, the question is, how is this going to affect women's health? And one thing we do know is that it would essentially remove Planned Parenthood from the Medicaid system for 1 year. The Congressional Budget Office took a look at this and they said, hey guys, this is actually going to result in more births, which is going to take away any savings that we would get from the Planned Parenthood repeal because we're going to have to spend more on Medicaid.
This is really just the tip of the iceberg of what could happen to women's health care, under this new administration. I think a much bigger and kind of scarier issue for a lot of people is that if Obamacare were repealed, birth control and maternity care would no longer be federally mandated for insurance providers.
Yeah, I mean, and we know what that would look like, right? Because that's what happened before Obamacare. It meant that women were paying all different rates for their birth control, and also, even scarier for women who are pregnant, they often had to buy an additional rider that went on top of their policy, which made healthcare much more expensive for them. And because of the way insurance plans are priced, it actually meant that women overall paid more for their insurance.
Something else I've been watching really closely over the past few weeks is the VC industry, and particularly how many women and how many female-founded companies are getting funded. Now, I knew the number was going to be low. I knew it was going to be lower for women than it was going to be for men, but it's actually just 2% of venture capital dollars, which is insanely low.
That is really low. And it's worse in the last couple of years, right? I mean, it's so upsetting to see that trend line going down. It's actually also really interesting timing because I just did this panel with a trio of female investors, and we talked a lot about this issue. And one of the things they were talking about is the strong correlation between the number of female investors and the number of female-founded companies that actually get money. And there's so few female investors still. So it's this complicated chicken and egg situation.
What you heard from a lot of investors was that women aren't pitching big enough, that they're pitching businesses versus men who are pitching unicorns. But then I'm hearing from the founder side that, actually, no, we're pitching big, but we're getting judged on performance and we're not being judged on potential. So again, it's kind of hard to tease out, who's at fault here and where the cycle can stop.
So the last story that we should definitely talk about this week is this viral video.
And what will it mean for the wider region? I think one of your children has just walked in.
He is busted in on by his two children, first his daughter and then his son. Then his wife has to run in and grab the kids. I mean, it's a hilarious video, but why did it get so much attention?
It just pressed a lot of different buttons for a lot of different people, depending on your gender, your race, kind of what your work from home situation is like. I mean, for a lot of women, for example, the video was kind of just an example of the way that we put working fathers up on a pedestal. I heard a lot of, if there was a woman doing this interview, she would never work again and she would never be invited to speak on live TV again. So, I mean, there's just kind of a lot of hits and misses here.
I can tell you one thing that wouldn't have happened if the roles had been reversed is that nobody would have thought that dad was a nanny, which is what happened to the mother in this scenario, who is Asian. So, I think one thing we learned from this video is just everybody can identify with the struggles of working parents. And also just the news has been so intense lately. I think for many people, it was just a chance to laugh, to feel good about this family, and to take a breather from heavy news.
Yeah, totally.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have this week for Broad Strokes. Come back next Friday for another episode on Fortune.com.